Okay, we're recording. And now I'm going to share my screen. Share screen. Okay, super. So today we're going to try to write an animal story. And we have some resources. And ultimately, we should be able to write an animal story in the first person on Google Docs. So one thing that we can do right now is to open Google Docs. And we can create a new doc. And you might want to put your class number, and animal story. So I'll put 2E 0 blue story. Now we need to write the animal story in the first person, and the first person means I. That is from an I perspective, pretending you are an animal. And I think something that's important for us to do first is think of an animal. So why don't you just take a minute or two and just think of which animal you would want to be. I think I'm going to be a boar. See if I can find it. And once you think of an animal and you write it down, you might want to take a look at our folder where I have some writing support and sample writing. And we can go to this writing support, this document. Take another 30 seconds, then we'll start. So Daniel, what kind of animal will you be?
I'm thinking about, but I'm ready to go into write a dog. Right?
Okay, you're going to be a dog. Okay.
Okay.
Angelica, what kind of animal will you be?
A wolf.
A wolf. Great. Jermaine, what kind of animal will you be? And Chi Young. Is that you, Victor? Hi, Jermaine. You can use textbook page 21. I'm just using this writing support also from the textbook that just has more steps and more details. I think it's far more systematic. You don't have to follow along, Jermaine, but these resources in the file all come from the textbook and are very useful. There's a lot of sample writing and additional reading. Okay. So Jermaine, what kind of animal will you be? And Victor, what kind of animal will you be? Okay, so Daniel, question. So let's pretend you are writing a story for this school competition and your classmates are going to read this. What do you think the purpose of your story would be? Would it be to entertain, to inform, to complain? Your thoughts?
Wait a minute, I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm not sure about it.
Okay, sure. Angelica, so let's say you are writing the story for this competition in the school and your classmates are going to read this. What do you think the purpose or purposes of the story would be?
I think the main purpose would be to entertain, because it's an animal story that you are writing, so you can make up whatever you want.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So I think I agree that first of all, we're trying to entertain our classmates, make them laugh, amuse them, interest them. But let me ask you another question then. If we're to inform them about things, what do we actually want to inform them about in our story? If we're writing about animals, we're pretending we are an animal. What should we also include in our story if we're to inform them?
I think things that the animal will do, maybe habits they have, just some facts about the animal.
Yeah, that's great. I agree. So first, we try to entertain. Then we try to inform. Victor, are you having a party there?
No one.
Sounds like you're having quite a party there, Victor. God bless you. Congratulations. Okay. Now, if we are to entertain, I think it's possible that it takes different tones. It can be suspenseful, you can be serious, you can be cheerful, okay? It can also change. So ultimately, our job is to entertain. Just like there are different types of tones in movies, in a story that you write, you can have different tones. Well, let's just ask. Daniel, so when you write your story, do you think the tone of your story may be suspenseful? Do you think it may be serious? Do you think it may be cheerful?
See,
or something else?
I will choose cheerful.
Okay, that's great. Good. Angelica, what do you think the tone of your story may be, or tones?
I think it could be suspenseful because the animal I've chosen is a wolf, and I think it fits it.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing. I think my story will be very serious. I have something very serious in mind to share about my being a boar. Jermaine, what do you think? What kind of tone do you think you'll adopt for your story? Okay. You don't know. Okay. I guess you will find out. Victor, what about you? Do you have a tone in mind? And welcome, Bosco. So let's go through some of the things that we have to include in, hi Bosco, in our story. Okay. Now, the first thing is first person. So when we mean first person means I perspective. First person equals I. That means that we will be writing many sentences beginning with I. I this, I that. Okay. Something else that we need is a title. And that will be the last thing we do. Okay. After we write the entire story, I think it's easier to think of a title. If you want to think of one now, you can think of it. Okay, so when we talk about the opening, and here I am highlighting opening. Okay. We should describe the what, Bosco?
Open.
Okay, Daniel?
Wait, I'm thinking, what's the answer of it?
Sure. Now, if you take a look at my screen, you have a few choices.
Yeah, I know,
Okay.
but some words I'm not understand.
Okay,
So I'm
what's a
checking
word
the
that you don't
dictionary.
understand?
What's the mood? Yeah, the question you have, circle it. The blue period.
Yes. The mood
What's
is
the
the feeling.
feeling?
Okay. Or the tone. Okay, I think mood and tone are very similar. I don't think it's good that this worksheet uses too many different words, far too many words.
So I
And
think
it's tone, okay? Let's just say it like that.
So I think it is better that setting the problem will be the opening descript the.
佢近近期你自己有冇收皮啊？聽唔聽到啊？講嘢啦，屌你！
我有咪
唔係我知啊，佢唔會鬧鳩我啊。
靜晒。
正晒啊！
So I think the problem will be fill in the second blank.
喂喂喂！
I don't understand what you're saying.
I think the problem with is better to fill in with the second blank. I mean the blank with the blue. Yeah, you have circled it.
It's highlight, Daniel.
Oh, highlight. Okay.
Okay, so let's go back to the question. First, we have a title of the story. Okay, just like that, we have a title. Then, what is this? This is the
setting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a setting. All right, great. So in the opening, we should introduce the setting. So here we are. And we have a setting. In our opening, we have a setting. I'm just taking notes right now. I'm not writing sentences yet. When we introduce the setting, what things are included in the setting?
Hey guys, what are you saying?
Hello。喂，冇人應我。
So the first setting.
So
Hmm.
what does setting actually mean? There are pieces of information that we have to include, that we should tell the reader.
So I think the setting maybe is introduce the basic we need to know about the story.
No, I remember it. The setting is actually meaning the sets that the environment. I forgot how to
Yes.
describe it.
Okay, so what questions or question words do we need to address? We just started reading. What does the reader know? Or the reader knows nothing. What should we tell the reader?
We should tell the time, what's happened.
Okay, when.
Just like this, these basic things.
Okay, when. Okay, what else should we address?
Time.
Where?
Where are we?
Oh, when, where, time.
Why?
what's- yeah.
Sure, okay, maybe, why? There's also something really important, too, that's missing.
What?
How?
How? Okay, sure, how?
What?
Who?
What?
Who? Yes, like,
Oh
who's
my God.
speaking? Who am I?
OMG.
Who's
What?
speaking in the story?
Shut
is
the
in the
fuck
story?
up!
So I think that's really important to address. So maybe these are things that you might want to think about right now and just take a few moments. Okay, where am I? What's Daniel? What verb? What does what actually mean? You're asking for something.
What
Maybe.
happened?
mm,
Something happened?
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay. All right. Just take a few moments. Right. So it's 4. Where am I? Hong Kong Island. By Parkview. Wanchai, Blackslink. When March 20 dusk. So maybe take another minute. If you want to take a look at other openings, you can take a look at the model writing. And we can also take a look at the sample writing. So the sample writing includes a story about a dragonfly. And the model writing is about a giraffe. Jermaine, did you think of an animal yet? Bosco, what kind of animal will you be?
Still thinking.
Well, 我哋俾你聽下啲麻雀聲啊嘛。
Okay, so Angelica, if you're a wolf, where are you?
Probably somewhere in the forest.
Okay, and where is your forest?
冇唔使閂，你擺落去，唔使理㗎啦。
And when does your story take place, Angelica?
Can you repeat that?
When does your story take place? Your story
At night.
at night? Okay.
我聽到多啲啦。
喂，碰啊喂！
同乜撚嘢？
Before,
你啱啱翻嚟工啊？
I think there'll be some humans too.
你啊？好喎。
點解爭隻嘅？
Hong Kong people.
喂，屌你做乜鳩啊？唔使翻緊㗎啦。
嗰隻喺邊啊？
佢而家
我想邊間比較少啊？翻完上㗎。即係收少之前就係啦。以前有做。
Okay.
停咗我哋個視像，唔緊要，俾佢聽聲。
啊，即係佢而家係睇唔到我哋。
係啊。
Okay, so let's continue. So we've already assessed that we have to use the first person. We're going to write a lot of sentences using I. And in the model writing, you can see the use of I sentences. See, I, I. So there are many I sentences. That's the first person. If we take a look at the Dragonfly story, again, we see a lot of I sentences. I. Just a lot of I's, right? Okay, so now we're going to start with the body. We need to introduce something. And Daniel, what are we introducing?
We need to introduce in the problem.
Okay, there needs to be a problem. All right. So let's start thinking about what the problem is. So first we introduce the who, the when, and the where, and maybe something about the what. Okay. And maybe the why. But in the body paragraphs, we start to introduce what problem. Based on the setting, what what's the problem? And I'm thinking aloud right now. And maybe my problem is I'm looking for food, and I also don't want to run into any people. What problem? Okay, so body, looking for food, don't want to run into any people. Why? I'm not only hungry, I'm scared of people. It's always told me to avoid people, especially Hong Kong people. So now it's at night, at dusk.
开窗别吵。
Fewer people around, not walking up the path. So take a few moments and think about what the problem is. Just brainstorming right now. Angelica, what do you think the problem is in your story?
I think that the wolf was trained to hunt animals, but the wolf feels bad for them and doesn't want to.
Oh, that's a really interesting problem. It's a moral problem. Sounds like the wolf has a job to do, but doesn't want to do its job. Okay. Daniel, what do you think the problem is in your story? What's the problem for the dog, your dog?
OMG.
OMG. So if we take a look at the kind giraffe model writing, we see 1, a giraffe, 2, the first person, 3, the problem. The problem in one word is a lion. Why is the lion a problem? Lions eat giraffes, and the giraffe wants to stay alive. So that's a pretty easy problem. So I'll say it again. In the model writing, we have giraffe. The perspective is from the giraffe. And the problem is there's a lion, a lioness, that is a female lion. And female lions eat giraffes. And the giraffe doesn't want to die, it wants to stay alive. So that's a problem for the giraffe. Let's take a look at okay. So if we take a look at the dragonfly story, a dragonfly written from the dragonfly's perspective, okay? And then it seems like there's several things going on. And one thing is the dragonfly is really cold. And why is this a problem? Maybe if the dragonfly is too cold, it can't fly, it may die. The dragonfly wants to be able to live. So that's a problem for the dragonfly. Curiously, in these two stories, these are life and death problems. We don't have to be so serious in our problems. Bosco, what's the problem in your story?
Someone died.
Who died, and why is that a problem?
A hedgehog died because he was soft. Okay, that's it. I don't really know.
Okay. Now, let's go back to some of the basics of your story. Are you a hedgehog?
Yes, I'm a hedgehog. I'm a hedgehog and I died because I didn't eat a lot of things.
Okay, so you're a hedgehog. Where are you?
Living in South America desert.
Hello.
Okay, you're in the desert. Okay, sure.
Hello.
Hello. Who am I speaking to? Okay.
Hi. Hello.
Okay, why there are police sirens?
Let's continue. So after we start introducing the problem, something to keep in mind is that we should use direct speech. That is, avoid, let's say, passive voice. Everything should have a clear subject and a verb. Write a lot of sentences with I. Now, we can think about the ending of the story now. How do you or the other characters solve the problem? Okay, so first, you have to have a problem. Then, how do you and the other characters solve the problem? If you solve the problem. So maybe take a few moments to think about that.
Character.
Solve the problem. Still. Hear them or see their lights anymore. Be prepared to attack. So while you're thinking of your ending, I'll take a look over here as well at the ending of this story. So we have a giraffe. From the giraffe's perspective, and there's a lioness. And curiously, there's a swerve. The lioness actually needs help. So this is a surprise, a very surprise ending. So the solution is actually to a problem we didn't think about. We thought the problem was the lioness, but actually the lioness had a different problem. So this was a very surprise ending. If we go to the dragonfly story, you have a dragonfly, dragonfly's cold. Okay. But now it seems like there's a white animal and it's warm. Okay. Okay, the animal has a thick coat, soft, warm fur. Polar bear. Okay. So the polar bear and the dragonfly make a deal. And that's the resolution, or the solution to the problem. I'll say it again. In the dragonfly story, the dragonfly's cold, the dragonfly meets a polar bear, and the dragonfly and the polar bear agree to work together so the dragonfly stays warm. Okay. I'll take you through this slideshow right now because it shows you the structure. You can see first the title of the story, A Dragonfly Goes North. Then you can see the opening. See the setting in the first paragraph. What is the animal doing? Where is the animal? Then you can start to see the introduction of the problem. Okay. And it begins with the dragonfly feeling very cold. Then we have an ending. a lot. Are there any questions right now? Okay. So Daniel, what is the problem in your story?
In my story, my problem is my dog is dangerous with some bad people. They want to kill him. Yeah.
Okay, so let's pretend you are the dog, Daniel,
Yeah.
and humans, people want to kill you.
Yes.
Okay.
They are using the gun.
Oh, okay. Have guns and want to kill you, the dog. Okay, good. What's the solution to this?
The solution is the dog running very fast, run to the forest, and the human can't find it.
Okay. Dog runs into
The forest.
Into the forest so that the humans
Can't find
cannot
it.
follow. Cannot follow. Okay, good. Angelica, you had talked about the moral dilemma of your wolf, and how does the story end? What's the solution?
The dog ends up finding a human living in the forest, and the human takes him in and feeds him so he doesn't have to hunt anymore.
Okay. So are you talking about you used the word dog. Are you writing about a dog or a wolf?
Wolf.
Okay, great. Did you ever read the book White Fang? White Fang is a great story, I think by Jack London, about a problem with wolves. White Fang. You might be able to find it online for free, and there have been movies about White Fang. Let's see if I can show you. I remember reading this when I was in primary school, this book, White Fang. It's about a wild wolf dog. So it's not completely wolf, not completely dog. And Jack London's very famous for writing these kinds of books, White Fang. And then he is most famous for this book, The Call of the Wild, which is about a dog becoming more like a wolf in the wild. So these are really cool books that are worth reading that I read when I think I was in primary school.
I think I might have read The Call of the Wild, but I forgot what's in it.
It's a great book. So White Fang and The Call of the Wild are kind of similar perhaps to your story as well. They're definitely worth reading, I think. Okay, great. So let's continue. So we need to learn to write direct speech. And this includes saying something in quotes. So why don't we actually write direct speech, 2 direct speech sentences in quotes? Maybe your character can say something. Maybe another character can say something. So let's try to write 2 sentences direct speech. Direct speech. Hungry. What did human hikers want to say? Don't be afraid. This scary. Said one hikers in the group. Okay. So again, we're trying to think about what our characters will say, and we're trying to write the sentences that our characters will say. Let's try to write 2. We can take a look at some of the features in the short story as well. So you see some speech. See the quotes. You see the verb, shouting. See some more direct speech. Crying. Telling. Saying. You can shout, you can cry, you can tell, you can say. Let's take a look at the speech. So here we can say, you can use exclamation mark, you can exclaim, exclamation marks, you can reply, you can ask questions, ask. So there are a lot of different verbs you can use to indicate that you're speaking. I'll cry. I'll moan. I moaned aloud. Okay, so Angelica, what is something that one of your characters will say?
I don't know. I haven't thought about dialogue for the writer.
Okay, I think we might end here. Something that you might, well, yeah, okay. I think that might be it for today. I think what's important too is that you share your Google Doc with me. So with your Google Doc, can you please click on share and then share with me, davidjw@class.cskms.edu.hk. Okay, so can you please share with me? Please share your Google Doc with me. I'll take a look right now. Daniel, did you share your Google Doc?
What? Google what?
Daniel, where are you writing your story?
Where am I writing my story? I write it in China.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Are you using Google Docs?
What's the Google Docs?
Okay.
I'm not sure what kind of Google I'm using.
Okay. Can you look at my screen, please?
Yes, I'm looking on your screen.
If you look over here, I'm circling something right now. It says docs.google.com. Can you use that to write your story, please?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I will.
Then I might be able to mark your story and to help you better. If you use a piece of paper, I may not be able to help you as much, and it will be much more difficult for me to mark your paper.
Okay, I will use this website to write story.
Thank you. Angelica, did you share your Google Doc with me?
No, I haven't finished writing it.
Okay. Even though you haven't finished writing, can you share the doc with me? I can help you to write at the same time. That's one of the advantages of Google Docs. Well, Jermaine, you can use, if you use Google Docs, I can provide instant help. And that way, I prefer you guys to use Google Docs. If you can. Angus, did you share your Google Doc with me? Bianca, can you share your Google Doc with me, please? And Bosco, can you share your Google Doc with me, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Super. Great, Jermaine. Thank you so much. Jermaine, I'm going to share this with you now. Google Docs. Okay, guys. Do you want to meet again tomorrow and then we can start writing some sentences?
When will we meeting tomorrow?
We can meet at 1:30 again tomorrow.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you okay to meet at 1:30 tomorrow?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. So,
Yeah, we are okay, I think.
okay. Let's meet at 13:30 tomorrow. Please share your Google Docs with me. And we'll start writing sentences tomorrow and review some stories. If you want to take a look at what I've been writing, I'll share that with you right now. That is the model writing. This is another model writing. This is what I wrote today. Okay. Good. And tomorrow. Okay, guys, nice job today. God bless you. And we'll start writing some sentences tomorrow and start reviewing some people's completed stories. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Dr. Wu, before you leave, I have something to ask you.